3, 2, 1, go.
Illegal speedrunning tech. Please don't tell anybody.
Awesome, so now I'm starting the story mode. I do that to get the 2 unique cards that you can only get through cheat codes. So one of the major differences between Crash and Spyro Fusion is the money cap. In Spyro Fusion you can have up to 999 gems, whereas in Crash you can go up to 9,999, which means that because we need to buy things throughout the run, Crash Fusion never hits the cap, but Spyro Fusion very much can, so we don't do the money cheat only when we need it.
Easy.
So the minigames, Crash Fusion is a lot more involved. Spyro Fusion's a lot of auto-scrollers. So there are 5 hub worlds total. In Crash Fusion you can just get through the first 4 by only collecting crystals, and in Spyro you can get to the 4th hub world by only just completing all the minigames. However, there is a 5th hub world which is required, and that's where the true ending of the game is. In Crash, that requires getting all of the gems, which involves breaking all the boxes in every level. And in Spyro, that involves beating all of the minigames 3 times on all 3 difficulty settings. So, we're going to be
One of them is more fun than the other, let's put it like that.
Yeah. So, Toka's going to be picking up a lot of boxes, and I'm going to be spending a lot of time in auto-scrollers. There's a lot of useless tech in this game. For example, you got rocket storage with these, which is if you just, depending on how long you push the B button, the rocket fires further. However, if you start charging up a rocket and jump, you will preserve how much the rocket was meant to fire, and then the next time you hit the B button, it fires with that much momentum. It's almost completely useless, but this game is just full of strange tech.
Some of which you will see later on. Because it's not fast, but it's also not slower.
Yeah, there's a lot of swag strats in this game.
Oh look, it's platforming. It's actual Crash platforming in my game. I quit.
Yeah, Crash has some platforming, Spyro has almost none. The games are laid out where you have a platforming-based overworld and a bunch of minigames within the overworld.
What is animal cruelty even?
In the sheep game?
Yes. So because I was focusing on my game and Mike, I didn't really hear what you said or what you explained on how to really access the final world.
So the final world was accessed by gems on Crash Fusion by getting all the boxes in relevant levels, and Spyro by beating every minigame 3 times.
Yeah, so in this game, you'll see that later on anyways, but in this game you get the 20 crystals for completing the 20 minigames in the first 4 worlds. Then you get a final boss of the 4th world, that's Ripto. I'm the main Spyro villain, and if you then have all the 20 gems, another gate will open where you can access World 5 and actually finish the game. Serious gaming moment here.
Strongman Incorporated.
It's not even a 13, it's actually bad, but I won't say that out loud, so it's fine.
Oh yeah, how good were your random cards?
I didn't even check, I'll only check in the shop itself.
Oh, that's fair. So the game does start you with a few cards. In Spyro, they're always the same, but in Crash, I believe it's 4 cards that you get at the very start of the game are random.
Yes.
And some of them can be the ones you can get for the weightlifting minigame, so you can skip them with really good RNG.
Yeah, so for the second weightlifting minigame, where you only get a card, you don't get any crystal or gem in there, it's only a card. But for the second one in the Arctic world, you can get that gem from that card from the start.
So here's my first shop coming up here. I just need 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fantastic. So the shops are relatively static. They will always have like the same pool of cards. However, it will just show you a random 3 from that pool, regardless of whether you have them or not.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different shops that we'll be seeing throughout the run. The most in-depth of which is the spinning wheel shop, which we'll explain when we get to it. But in terms of the Spyro, we're just going to be doing regular trading card shops.
No, I'm just looking. So.
Yeah, just chilling, you know. Really involved speed games here. The pace picks up, I promise. Well, it does for Crash.
How's everybody doing? Crowd. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah, but these minigames you can just hold fire button and you will shoot continuously, and that makes this minigame consistent. Actually, all of these. So this is a type of minigame which you'll see a few more times in other worlds. Okay, what did I get actually? It's like mystery. That's world 4. Outline steel. That's 5. Scarab, okay, nothing useful. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Having fun there, Talka?
Like, I know the card exists. I literally, there it is. Did I miss it? It should be, I should have won. No, wait, then. So the problem with that shop is, so at max you can get 10 cards. Depending on your initial cards, as Mike said, it's possible that you only have to buy 8 cards, because 2 of them you got from the start. And that you really have to know, essentially. You have to know, okay, I got those first 4 cards, they belong to this and that shop. So I don't have to grind for a 10th card.
So whereas Talka is playing new fun minigames, I'm doing the same one again. The only thing that has changed is that
Might just do another one if you don't want to do it. Like
the enemies' positions have somewhat changed, and they all now take 2 hit points. Now, why not just mash them all down? Because the enemies have iframes. So I need to stagger my shots to kill anything. So whereas Talka is now fighting the first boss of the game, I am still in the 2nd level.
Well, I just beat this first boss.
Yeah.
Like, I've been trying. You're like 15 minutes behind me.
Nothing much, you know, just chilling.
Just take your time.
One of the big reroutes was we found more for the Crash player to do, because Crash Fusion is a significantly shorter game than Spyro Fusion. Also, just one thing to note, when we're referring to the games as Fusion, those were the names of the European releases. In the States, they were referred to as Crash Purple and Spyro Orange.
Exactly.
So if you see those, that's the same game.
Yeah.
Well,
it's not entirely the same game.
I mean,
PAL version, you can select the language.
Oh yeah.
Big difference. So you can suffer in French.
Sounds good.
For example. Bonjour. So speaking of shops, shops are there's a crucial difference between the shops in the Spyro part and the Crash part of the run. While Mike will only do the shops where he has to buy cards, until World 5 at least. My run will consist of a lot more gambling, which you can at least partially influence. You can up your chances from 1 and 4 to 1 and 3, but that's still gambling. Hope there are no regulations in Scotland against gambling on Twitch.
Let's hope not.
We'll find out. Whatever.
But even with like, just reasonable to bad RNG, Toggle will still be able to finish ahead of the Spyro run.
So I
and
hope, yeah.
well, hopefully. And then there's more that we can do for the Crash player to help make up time for the Spyro runner. Basically, the routing that this game has undergone in the last year has just been offloading things from the Spyro player onto the Crash player.
Yeah.
Wherever possible. We do need to use multiple copies of every game. Not only is that helpful, but it's required. You can't get full completion in either of these games without any less than 2 of each cartridge.
Yes.
Because there is one unique card for connecting a copy of Crash Fusion to another copy of Crash Fusion, and there's another unique card for copying, having a copy of Spyro Fusion connect to Spyro Fusion. Do you want to explain the stack, or shall I?
Maybe you should do it so I can keep track of what cards I have.
Sounds good. So Toka's in the spinning wheel shop at the moment. It seems fairly random, but there's actually a surprising map structure to it. If you were to imagine a stack like a deck of cards, like a small deck of cards numbered 1 to 5, then when you win a card, you take the top card of that off the deck. So you take the card number 1, and that leaves 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now next time you roll and you draw a card, you get the 2, and so on and so forth, until the stack is empty. You've drawn all the cards from the deck, in which will just randomly give you cards that were previously in the deck. Now the way the spinning wheel shop works is that it will randomly choose, it will have multiple decks of cards, and it will randomly choose between the decks which stack you're working with.
Yeah, it's like which color
Yeah.
of the card
They're
appears.
normally grouped by color, so the blue Crash cards are one stack, the green Crash cards are one stack, the yellow Crash cards are one stack, except...
However,
Yeah.
here is where the fun part
You
begins.
can explain that, yeah.
So yeah, currently I'm, there are, in this shop, there are yellow cards, yellow Crash cards to obtain, and there are 5 yellow cards. And there's 1 stack of 4 yellow cards and 1 stack of 1 yellow card. Don't ask me why. It doesn't make any sense, but that's how it is. That's what we have to deal with. So it might be that I get Scuba Crash repeatedly, although I'm still missing other yellow cards. That's this weird stack thing. For all the other colors, if I'm still missing one of the green cards and I hit a green card on the field, I will get the missing one. I will get one of the missing ones until they're all filled up.
Nice, decent RNG on my British game.
Okay, that's cool.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Always.
Please go
Unless
ahead.
it's from Eraser, then no.
I've got some bad news for you, Toka.
Okay.
It's from 7Bald7
Ah, damn.
for $5. It says, "Hello to my friends Tocalino and CDRomatron. Why aren't you playing the only true category of Splash Fusion, aka Beat Cortex %? And when is Lava Fields IL on stream? Have fun, my friends, and I can't wait for Gem Hop first try."
If we're fired up and underestimate, it will be nothing but lava fields on stream. Toga has taught me the beauty of the full height double jump,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it is amazing.
Yeah, speaking of lava fields, there was actually a very surprising development. Approximately 15 minutes before this run started. More about that maybe later when I have more time and more brain capacity to focus on that. But let's say there's a chance that LoveBot's advanced SPs are hacked and literally just running faster. All I'm gonna say for now. So there's something else to mention. There are, in principle, there are 200 cards, hence the name 200 cards in the category. And there are 100 Crash and 100 Spyro cards. Because I'll do some of the Spyro part myself, I'll finish with 105 cards, Mike with 95. But I don't have to get any Crash cards in my gambling. No, sorry, I don't have to get any Spyro cards in my gambling. That's how I should put it.
Yeah, you can get effectively all the Spyro cards in Spyro, and you can get effectively all the Crash cards in Crash. There's a bit of overlap. You can get some Crash cards in Spyro and some Spyro cards in Crash. However, I'm going to be collecting all the Spyro cards in my game, and Toka...
Well, almost all
all
of
of them. And Toka is going to be collecting all of the Crash cards. I'm not going to be collecting any of those. And he's also going to be collecting some of the Spyro cards.
Yeah. So in the end, it's 105 to 95 because in the end, when we're trading, we can at max trade in stacks of 5. So whatever we get should be divisible by 5 to be max speed.
And the card system in this game works similar to the Pokédex in Pokemon, where if you have at any point owned a card, you are considered like you have owned the card. So that counts towards the 200 cards completions.
Yeah, even if you trade it away, yeah.
Even if we trade 100 for 100, it still considers us as having all 200.
Yeah. So for me, this is currently an example of the stack property. I have completed the 4 card stack, but I don't have the yellow card from the 1 card stack. So the 4 card stack already repeated, but I'm still lacking Scuba Crash, which is actually pretty rare. Usually it's the other way around. You get 10 million Scuba Crash and you're waiting for a card from the 4 stack.
You've not gotten Scuba Crash yet?
Yeah, it's like, what's going on?
Crazy.
Am I running out of Wampas actually?
Well, you still got the Wampachi, right?
Yes.
Sweet.
But I had to buy 10 cards at the start, so I had to invest an extra 100.
You would always continue on and get
I can
like
just
higher
backtrack for
Wampachi
this.
later.
Getting kind of clutch here. Come on.
Less RNG, boys.
Okay. I mean, I got the jackpot. That's cool.
Hog.
Fun thing is, this minigame can take anywhere between like 1 minute 30 and 13 minutes. From my experience, at least. So, might be here for a while. But if you're bored by this, can watch fun stuff.
Oh yeah,
Scuba Crash,
the
let's go.
fantastic auto-scroller, which is Spyro Fusion. This is the last pass of this level. After this, we're going to Pinball. Or Breakout, rather. And I will try and show off the swag strap, but no promises. So just a bit of a comment on how we get cards other than the shops. In Spyro, we get them for the first and third completions of a level, as well as collecting all unique gems in an overworld. The unique gems are any gem which is valued at more than 1, so anything which isn't a red gem worth 1.
Yeah, so the red gems respawn if you re-enter an area at some point.
Yeah.
All the other ones don't.
In Crash Fusion, there's a few literally just lying around on the overworld, and the rest are rewards from shops.
Yes, or weightlift.
Or weightlifting, yeah.
On the other hand, the crystals I can get are... the crystals I can get are for the minigames you have to do. The gems are optional, kind of unsurprisingly. Let's salvage that. I don't think I can. Okay. So speaking of cards lying around, you'll see one right here. It's like, it's somewhat hidden, maybe? Is this card hidden here?
I would say it's hidden.
Kind of, yeah. I feel like it's only easy to see if you know where it is, otherwise you can't. I feel like you can't easily miss it, yeah. So that's the world card. There's a card for every... Like, that card says Arctic World or whatever. And there's one for every. Which is always to be collected in the overworld. Which, I mean, kind of makes sense. It's a world card, so you collect it in the overworld. Does it make sense? I feel like it makes sense.
That makes sense.
Long jumps on my side.
So for this minigame, for me, the the speed of the ball increases with difficulty. So it's just the same formations every time. I can deal with them in relatively the same way. Nice. So I'm going to do a save warp here. Whenever you return to the save selection screen and re-enter, then it puts Spyro at the far left entrance to that half of the overworld. We can use that in a few places to backtrack really effectively. There's also a miniature version of that where you just back out to the main menu as opposed to the save menu, and that allows us to go back to the last level we entered for a few places.
or the
where we
last
need to-
checkpoint.
Or the last checkpoint, you can, yeah. There's not too many places where we use that, but there is like
No,
one
there are
or-
quite
there-
some,
There's
to
one
be
or two, and they're kind of important.
Yeah.
This is snow steps. It sucks. We're gonna be walking magnets for like 6 minutes.
Interestingly enough, that warp thing only works on the Spyro side. There's no equivalent of that on the Crash side. If you quit out into the save menu or anywhere, you'll go back to the last checkpoint. Something I did there. Like I entered the second half of the Arctic world, collected a card, which would have meant I'd have to backtrack like a minute or so, and just exit game and go back up, and then I was up here again, which is cool. 3-1-1. Actually, it should be good.
So just to clarify on the stack thing we were talking about earlier, that only affects the spinning wheel shops. So any of these other random shops are just completely RNG for what card you get.
Yeah.
Well, all the shops have a range of cards they can give you, but it'll be random which card of that they give you.
Yeah, exactly.
So there might be some prolonged periods of time spent in shops in this run, especially on the Crash side.
Seal. Now I need the lab assistant and the yellow card here. Lab assistant, okay, now the yellow card. The good thing there's only one yellow card you can get here, so as soon as the yellow card turns up and you don't suck at following the crate, that would mean I'm out of here. That would be a really fast shop here. To be from experience, because there are so many shops and also so many different shops in this run, at least in my side of the run, the RNG usually evens out over the run.
Yeah, we have very little shopping to do on my side. There's a few standard trading card shops to do, one in every world, and also a vase shuffling shop, which is similar to the crate shuffling shop. In fact, it's the exact same, just reskinned. That's the one Tocca's doing right now in the final world, and I only need 3 cards from it.
Yeah.
The rest of the cards are completely static in this.
Yeah. So whenever a card comes up, I already have all the green cards in this shop, so I can just, try to keep track of the Wumpas. This one is an orange one, I have the orange one, so I can get the Wumpas.
The longer the Crash run goes on, the less of a concern Wumpa Fruit gets. It's a little scary at the beginning, but when we get near the end, the jackpots are going to be absurd.
Yeah.
And even the not jackpots usually pay back whatever you spent to spin the wheel in the first place.
Yeah. There will be a rather extreme example at the end of the Arctic world. There will be a mystery crate shop, which, if you do it long enough, you'll continuously stack up on money. It's the one casino in the world where you win, where the house loses actually. Beg my pardon. What? My magnet failed me. That's okay.
Yeah, a lot of things in these games just... They seem very put together last minute. Like
Oh, you think so? Where do you get that
Like
impression?
in the breakout levels, I remember my casual playthrough of this. And there were sometimes I just died and nothing really killed me. And I still don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Like,
So
2
for-
years
yeah.
into running this game and I'm still confused by that clip.
To be fair for Mike, it's more extreme because for the Spyro Fusion part, the pinball levels, for example, the ball at some point just goes way faster than it ever will on the Crash side.
Yeah.
So what essentially happens, the speed becomes too high for the game's physics to handle. Or at least that's what I want to think happens. The game is too fast for itself and then it just breaks.
It sounds like a really fancy technical explanation, which surprisingly this game has a lot of things which do just kind of work in a surprisingly smart way, which makes me feel like there was some like real care given to this. by some people who weren't allowed to do very much to it. Like, whoever was in charge of the spinning wheel shops knew what he was doing. And
That's
I
true.
think that's where it ended.
Okay, so I didn't get the Sapphire Relic card, which means I'll have to prove again that I'm the world's strongest gamer. Right here.
Nice.
Still not a 13.
Don't worry, you'll get in Tech Park. Trust me. Legendary gamer.
Yes, I will only get it on the hardest weightlift. That's when I will get the 13. Well, I hope you're up for some mystery. A lot of mystery here.
So the mystery shops are just like the crate shuffle one, except you don't see the contents beforehand,
Yes.
and you don't see them shuffle.
But
You just
if you
guess.
get Wampas, it's like 3 times the amount you pay to play the game. No, it's even 4 times on average. Here it was 69, although I only paid 10 paid 10 to play the game. Although I didn't get a card so far, it's kind of sad, honestly. I want cards.
So in any of like the mystery shops, of course, it's not worth like trying to guess which one it's actually in. You just mash the first one. Cool. I'm out of snow steps. Finally, that took long enough.
Oh, shit,
I need to pick up like 4 cards here, I think. Yeah, 4 cards. And then there's a cycle on the platforming section I need to make after this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fantastic. I hope that was right. Yes, I made the cycle. That is surprisingly tight. So one thing I haven't been doing so far is collecting the multi-value gems, so the ones worth more than 1. As I mentioned earlier, there is a card reward for getting all of them. However, that is something which is offloaded onto the Crash Fusion player, as those can all be obtained relatively early on in the game. They're just kind of a bit out of the way, so I'm going to leave that for Toka because he has some time after the Crash run where he otherwise wouldn't be doing anything.
Yes. More on the technicalities on that later, because there have been rather recent developments which made the short possible in the first place. But no spoilers.
So just to explain the categories a bit, so it's 105% and 200 cards. The reason they're called as such is because originally they were both called by the percentages, where Crash Fusion has to be by percent because max completion involves the gems, which don't contribute towards the card count. So that's going to be based off the percentages. However, in Spyro, you get 113. Like, the cards make such a small difference on the percentage that you get 113 before you even trade with the other player. So, to clarify the category, and because there is nothing else other than collecting all the cards, the Spyro category is called 200 cards. So at the end of this run, there will hopefully be 2 submissions. 1 to each board. Technically speaking, the runs can have different times. So for example, if one of the players completes their objective of 105% or 200 cards first, because we'll be trading an uneven number of cards, so that will happen. So one of the game's runs will technically be shorter than the other by like 10 seconds.
Needs more meshing.
All I need to do here is just make sure I don't get hit too much and don't clip into the scenery, because that can happen, and it's quite sad.
No. Arctic Ripdog. Yes, let's go. There was a pretty good
Nice.
shop, which has the downside of me not being as stacked on Wampas. So I might have to skip a shop or two, and leave not skip strictly, but leave it for the backtrack rather. Which is fine, because in theory I should be faster than Mike anyways. So it doesn't matter if I waste time, unless I waste like 3 hours or so. Or more realistically, probably like 5 to 10 minutes. That should be the difference between us. assuming Mike wins, or rather, assuming Spyro Fusion lets Mike win at the game.
Yeah, it's been going pretty chill so far. I think I've only had like one silly mistake.
Okay, so I'm on world 3 already. So here you can already tell the difference in speed, which is not too surprising given he has to do everything 3 times and I don't.
Yeah, even with all the random shopping, even with a bad RNG, he can still finish out ahead of me pretty consistently.
No worries, that wall collision, or that corner collision was fine. It's all good. So I feel like the tank levels in Crash Fusion are maybe even the most action-packed ones, because you have to navigate in 2 directions and shoot and turn around and do a lot of things.
So I'm doing a menu warp here to get back to the left, because we need to backtrack all the way to the left anyway to jump up. Cool, made it up. And up to Blizzard Balls.
So you may believe it or not, but there's a test for the Crash Fusion side of the run for the 104% category, where you complete the game only with 1 cartridge. And just as a comparison how much good, or rather perfect, RNG can make up for the world record for 104% is 120 something. I think 126 plus minus a few minutes. I don't remember that. Around that range, and the test is like 53 minutes or so.
Yeah, a lot of this game's playtime comes down to like how much time you spend in the shops and how lucky you get in the shops.
Yeah.
I mean, it evens out over the course of a run, so you don't find too much variance, except when you lose like 10 minutes in the Dragon Mystery Shop.
Yes.
That was my favorite run of yours. What?
Oh, thank you. Also, you may or may not wonder, well, this is pretty laggy on your side, Toka. What's going on? Is the capture device broken? No, it's just the game. The game is not cut out for its own levels, performance-wise. It just can't handle it. Apparently the water effects are too much for a GameCube. I'm not sure either.
Moving on to the second half of the ice level here. In between all of these like half bits, I'll have a mashing minigame. There's not too much I can do, especially in the fire one. But here's this one. I'm not the best at mashing, especially not on a DS. There we go. We're through. That was terrible, but okay.
Oh, our cooperation is coming up
Ooh,
soon.
I got the downwards tech.
Oh, nice. The
Let's try
flame
get
drop.
Yeah. And then messed up a jump twice against this Riptalk. There we go.
No.
Long tank auto scroller.
Well, more spinning wheel. Let's go.
So just to kind of explain what I did there for a split second and wasn't really noticeable. When Spyro's running off a cliff, if you use the fire breath at a really precise time, I don't know how like lenient the window is, but it's not that easy to pull off. Spyro will drop significantly faster than normal at the speed he's was walking at. There's only like one place where it really saves time in the run, and it's free to go for because it doesn't take any time to do. But I'll just try to pull it off whenever I'm going downhill. Also, this level is a cool thing that I learned about like half an hour ago. It saves no time, and it's just like a weird out of bounds because they've got a boot collision on a wall. I think it's coming up just here, I think?
Up
Up
there,
here. Yeah, they just forgot about collision in this corner here. So you can just go out of bounds. Doesn't save any time, and because it's
so
not a scroll,
funny.
you just run out of space eventually, but yeah.
Funniest thing this game, honestly. Don't add me. So one other thing to mention about the spinning wheel is you see me not mashing through on lowest lowest strength. You need an audio cue, or should I be quiet?
No, I'm good. My ears just hurt.
Okay. Fair enough. No, so if you see me kind of scouting the wheel, and then based on that, decide what strength I wanna spin at. There's actually a reason to that. Something I mentioned at the beginning. So if you're just mashing through with A, just as you do on the other shops, like on the other shops, you have a 1 in 4 chance of getting the purple field, getting the card. But if you're scouting out, you have a 1 in 3 chance. The reason for that being turning, for example, like you with 0 strength, can make the wheel turn either 5 or 6 or 7 fields. So it's 1 in 3. Of course, 1 in 3 is better than 1 in 4, so we do that. Even waiting for the strength-o-meter thing to go down again, and then doing it, even that's faster, way faster on average than just mashing through. How am I on Wampas anyways? 600. Okay, 600 is okay. I might have to skip the shop where you buy cards next up, depending on how I finish here. But I said before, this shouldn't be of any concern, given I should finish before Mike, so if I lose a minute on backtracking or not,
Yeah, hopefully.
shouldn't have any. Unless you're like really, really fast, and somehow find a way around completing everything 3 times.
Just wrong warp to the card gold mine.
yeah.
Wrong warp into that void where I have lost all those cards in runs before.
Yeah. Glad the crowd is this invested into the run. Isn't that beautiful? One runner gambles, the other one's just tanking for 6 minutes.
Yep. These tank minigames are always the worst. They're just so long. There we go. One more visit. So I am making profit from doing all these levels. It costs 10 to unlock a level. I get 10 for the first completion, 20 for the second completion, and 30 for the third. So I total like 50 gems profit from each level. For 5 for each world, that's a profit of 250. And then I do really minimal shopping in this run, so.
Okay, so I should need only 1 more blue card, and then I can move on. And it will be this one. No, it won't. 1 in 3, it's 1 in 3. What can I do?
Have I told you? I've told you about my disgusting idea for a 200 card solo strat, haven't I?
Not sure, well,
Oh,
you have a lot of weird disgusting
using
ideas.
the Donkey Kong bongo thing.
Oh
for the
yeah,
GameCube,
yeah.
so that I can mash through spinning wheel shops with my feet, whilst I play Spyro with my hands. Which is the best speed tech. Anything that actively uses the DK bongos correctly is undoubtedly the best tech. Out of bounds again. This time actually useful because we can kill this enemy without him being able to kill us.
So it's not useless tech.
It is not useless tech.
Yeah.
It just... I mean, the enemy isn't really a threat anyway. It's just kind of neat.
Well, don't ruin it. Come on. You sold it so well. Ah, it's still not. So here, for example, I get a 5 turn. I progressed 5 fields with minimal strength, and I would have needed 6. There's not much you can do there, unless you're doing frame perfect seeding. So of course it's not real RNG. It depends on the setup of the wheel and the frame and everything. So in theory things are determined, but you just can't. RTA you can't influence it. It's a problem. Actually, let me. Yeah.
Cool. Try the downwards here. Yes. Oh no, got the first one.
Do we have to?
Cold mashing, go. Yes, okay, there's
Okay.
one.
I mean, I'm doing spinning wheel, whatever. Like,
So this minigame involves 2-button mashing, and this is just kind of convenient.
yeah.
Cool, okay, we're done. So now I'm going to do menu warp all the way back up this cliff.
No, that was true co-op. That's also something we discovered like 10 minutes before the run. We're
Oh
like,
yeah,
we
that
should
was-
totally do that in the
We
run.
just did that for a meme, and it worked out pretty fast. So here's Crush and Gulp. There is a fast strat here. I'm going to try, do my best. I'm not going to get it. Sorry, Eraser.
As long as you're getting the first half, that's really what. gains the most
So Crush and
time.
Gulp always follows the same cycle. The first couple of things I need to headbutt Crush, so the Gulp fires his missiles back. Afterwards, I need to flame him, so the same thing can happen. So the cycle is 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 4. So there's 1,
1, 4. Oh, yeah, okay. Sorry, I don't.
and then 2, and then 3,
Then 2, 1, 4.
and then 2. I think I missed that. Yeah, I'm just gonna try keep him still. Oh, he's going back to
4,
4.
2,
So
now
then back
2,
to 2.
3,
Yeah.
2.
And then 3.
Yeah, should do on 3.
Should we? Oh, come on, Crush, please.
Okay, 2, 1.
Back to 2.
Oh, 2, yeah.
That works.
Okay.
That was close enough to perfect. We'll take it.
Was okay.
Now we're into the fire world. It starts off with a really long auto-scroller. I'm sorry, guys.
Cool. Now, interestingly enough, for the longest time we didn't know about that pattern because essentially nobody really cared. And when Eraser learned the game, he was like, there's a pattern to it. Is there a pattern to that?
Most of us just assumed it was always random, and no one optimized the boss fight. I think there's some really old, like, Beat Cortex runs, which had a fairly optimal Crush and Gulp, and people just assumed it was good RNG. But I mean, let's be honest, Beat Cortex is not a real category. There's a reason it's MISC. I am calling you out.
You say that.
Eraser.
You said it
I'm
yourself.
calling you out.
I won't take either side here.
Anything which is less than full completion is not a real category.
I mean,
am
it's
wrong.
kind of true, yeah. I like how I'm not even getting the chance of getting a blue crash car. That's cool. No, it's too strong. It's fine, at least I'm stacking up on money.
I'm doing my best, man.
Sound like Eraser's disappointed, blah 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 blah.
I'm assuming there's a level of shade being thrown in the chat right now.
It's always Eraser. Of course it's Erasers. It's the nature of being French. Might be here for a while. To be fair, the rest of the like the other shops, the previous shops went really well. So this one not going as smoothly is okay. Hey. want to spin for a bit, or?
This would become a 3-person co-op run.
Yeah.
Oh no, because it will not obsolete our previous time then.
Oh, right, okay. Assuming you're quick enough that this will
I
work
like
record.
well, even if I mess up, because the last time we did this, the previous where it did have me failing like gem hop like 3 times. So even with that and the new route, which should save like 10 minutes at least, like I think this one will go fine.
Right, yeah. What we can do though, assuming I finish quickly enough and there's enough of a gap between us finishing, I could have people get free IL wars on Spyro Fusion. Do we have a completed cartridge? Is one of your cartridges completed? Do you know it? We'll check that later. Okay, game. Blue, Crash. You know both of those things. Now combine them.
Doing okay there, Toka?
Do I look like? This is essentially how I feel that in every of these runs at some point. Now it's just later than usual, but it happens.
Which world are you in? Are you in
3.
Dragon Castles?
3.
Or are you still in the Fire World?
Well, still, come on. Still, I'm pretty quick.
I've caught up, man. I'm in the Fire World too. I'm just about to finish the first minigame.
The thing is, I didn't even misplay. There were no mistakes in my gameplay so far. I'm just getting cucked by this shop. Blue, okay, blue, very good. Now Crash. Not Spyro, but Crash. Blue, Crash.
If Crash finishes late, we're going to need to do some on-the-fly routing, and we haven't planned for that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah!
Aku Aku, yes. There we go.
Hog. The
Thanks,
run continues,
thanks for the
boys.
4 claps or something. 5 claps. Okay. 6. I won't continue on counting, but I appreciate it.
I think I can flutter over here. Yes, I'm good. Ooh, tech. I got it. I got the fast fall. Hog.
Nice.
So I'm picking up 4 cards here? Yeah, 4 cards sounds right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it might be 5. Oh, yeah, there's the 5th one. Okay, cool, I was right. I was starting to doubt myself after it didn't show up for like 5 shops.
4 4 5 4.
Yeah, 4 4 5 4, yeah. This is my least favorite of the ball levels just because sometimes you will just die randomly and I just gotta hope that doesn't happen. I don't know why that happens and I don't know why it's on this one. It just does. That is just life and we put up with it.
So I usually have a visual cue for this level, but this CRT is too either too dark or too noisy, like static noisy, and I can't really see it. We'll see how this goes. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Well, the answer is I will die. Oh no. Don't! It's fine. The run's just slowly going to shit. It's all good. Heck.
The watershed is over, Paul.
Now I'm moving down. And I should stay here and it should work. If it doesn't work, I don't understand it. It doesn't work. I still won, but... I had a similar problem at EZ Germany, or whatever it was called back then, when I did the Fusion run. HDMI is just superior. Don't add me.
that was a stupid mistake. I promised that the fire breakout level is going well. There we go.
Something
What? Oh, neither of the balls were anywhere near the bottom.
the classic. So something about these levels. That's something I found out when I made the test. First of all, if you hit A on every second frame, Crash will go in a straight line at whatever his current angle is. Like all you do in this minigame is you hold A to go upwards and you let go of A to go downwards. Ascend and descend essentially. And if you hit A on every second frame, you go in a straight line. However, if you do that at a slope, like a ceiling slope, which is pointing downwards, then you can go through the ceiling, go out of bounds. Not really useful because you need all the boxes, but it's funny.
So from here around the run, I'm going to be collecting the unique overworld gems.
Right, yeah.
There's going to be a mini menu warp here when I'm going to be going back to the previous thing. It only saves like 2 or 3 seconds, but it's worth it.
Light menu, light menu, light menu.
Got it.
Yeah, sometimes the player by accident can do a
So here
real
I should
menu
get
warp.
a trading card. Amazing.
Yes, a real menu warp when you're supposed to do a light one. So you
Oh, this is not the minigame I thought it was. I thought this was the mashing minigame. I was confused.
it's time to fusion. Welcome to the slowest minigame of Crash Fusion.
Oh, you're so spoiled with that game.
Luckily, I only have to do it once. Unlike certain other people next to me.
Nice, that should be everything. Awesome.
I like how you could probably finish that bridge minigame thing like 20 times.
This is the best minigame ever because no matter how fast you mash, it's basically random as to what time you finish with. The best you can finish with is 0.66 remaining.
Yes.
Let's see if we can get this hide IL were right now. It'll be no, not that far. Well, that's pretty atrocious. I have a lot of practice too, though.
Sad.
I have literally no idea how you can influence it.
Well, I do, but I won't tell you. Also, you have all the...
I didn't do the lava boost.
You have all
I'm
the...
sorry.
Ah, damn. But you have all the IL words anyways, like on this the 6 thing, right? Like on all difficulties.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, of course, you know.
Of course, he says.
I still don't have the IL word for Space Chase
I really don't.
on the Spyro side. I've got it on the Crash side.
Well, yeah, on the Crash side it's easy.
Spyro is just harder for no reason for that, and I don't know why. The game looks like it should be the same, but it's just harder. Maybe
Yes.
it's placebo.
No, it's actually hard.
Shopping. I'm in the second half here, so I've not got too much left to do. I've got this and then one more mashing minigame, no more shopping. So we're almost at the power world here. I'd say almost at the power world. I've got like 4 minutes more of aux scrollers. But that's okay. Because whilst that's going on, you can watch Taka do interesting things. That is my favorite thing about this co-op run, is because when there's downtime in one run, the other player is probably doing something at least a little more interesting.
Ah, 13. Easy.
Nice.
World's strongest gamer. Proven.
No, skip cutscene.
Okay, so this boss fight straight up doesn't work. Sometimes you are not allowed to jump. It's a weird interaction property between bear running and slopes. So maybe they shouldn't have combined it, but they did. So I have to deal with it now.
Oh yeah, bear running is one of the most annoyingly designed things. You'll see a very... Well, we'll talk about it more at the time, but there's some really precise jumps in the bear levels.
Especially in World 5, yeah.
Especially in World 5, I would say, yeah, we'll cover that when we get to it.
Okay, first try. You'll see the second part of that fight in a few minutes when Mike does it. That fight is literally split in two. Like, Crash lures Nina into that weird area, and then Spyro fights her.
Oh yeah, there's
Fights
no,
it.
there's like, they tried to do a continuous story, but it just branches at the Nina.
Yeah. Animal cruelty.
So I remember when you sent me the message saying that like Sheep Stampede had been revolutionized, and originally I thought you were talking about those mini games, and I'm like, literally, what is the speed tag? So just to clarify, so when Heat Talk is doing those sheep games, literally the only sheep that matters is the last one, because the rest of them all spawn at the same time every
Yes.
time.
It's similar to Mike's auto-scrollers. Like, the only thing that matters is how quickly you enter the final portal. Like, how quickly you leave the level. Nothing else matters. Stop. This here. Down 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that was optimal. Or so I want to say. So I hope. Another world card right here. Nice. Are you still doing the...
I'm
Right
out of
level.
there.
Ah, 12.
So there is some more gems over to the right there, which I'm going to collect when I backtrack back to this world once I beat the game. But in the meantime, there is more stuff I need to collect over here as well.
Yeah, that shop Mike just ran past, but he's not doing. That's one of the most annoying shops in the 120 cards category. Just because you have to pay so much, like you have to invest so many gems and then essentially never win anything. It's a bit exaggerated, but the truth is not too far from that.
It's only a bit exaggerated.
Yeah. Because that's one of the mini games which does not have the stack property, so whatever card you get, it is randomized. And the fact that the gems are kept at 999, but one take at the, I think it's a mystery shop, takes 70 or costs 75 gems. And you need like 5 cards in there. Might have botched some of these numbers, but it's not too far from the truth. Again.
Okay, entering the Nina fight. For me, the Nina fight's a little different. I need to get Nina to run into these crates here. And then I need to raise the roof, which is currently falling with spikes on it.
Sounds like a fun vacation.
Pretty much. The exit portal's still there. I'm so convinced there's going to be some way of like flipping through the roof and just entering the exit portal without freeing these guys. But to this day, that has not been found. So here I'm just going to flame this a few times. It should be the last time here. Flip into the ceiling. There we go. And on to Wompa Jungle. And starting with the second one of these, Spyro in a buggy with a rocket launcher for some reason. This one's a lot easier than the first one.
I'd just like to take this moment to remind everyone of some donation incentives coming up. We've got, later on we've got Fragments of Euclid entering the secret room, where the runner will showcase the secret room in Fragments of Euclid. It's not a very long run, so we'd love to see as much of it as possible. We've also got a few bid wars coming up. We've got Haunting Ground in a few hours, we've got Fallout 2, we've got Old School RuneScape, and The Messenger all coming up. Please, we need these donations because we'd love to make these incentives. Thank you.
Toka, have you gotten to the amazing shortcut yet?
Not yet,
Okay.
but of course we'll mention it once it happens. For now I'm doing actual platforming, like actual fun video
I
gaming
always just forget where in Dragon Castles it is.
after the next minigame.
Yeah. So, one thing to explain is that one overworld card we're not going to be getting in this game is the one for the second half of the Ice World in Spyro for the gems. And that's because for some reason the developers decided to put that same card in a trading card shop. So, there is no incentive to get those gems at all. Because there's no difference between getting the gem from the shop or from the cards, from the gem things.
Have you gotten the hyper boost yet, by the way? Mike? Have you gotten the hyper boost yet?
No, I don't.
Because
found
I
that
just got it.
Ooh, nice. So, the frame perfect hyper boost is a really strange mechanic where if you're holding down the magnet on one frame and then the next frame you've released it and you've pushed A to kick the ball,
Yeah.
then the ball will move an extraordinary amount of speed, ignoring physics a lot of the time, and sometimes just passing through your player.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem.
It's very dangerous for RTA, but the TAS use it the whole time, and it's really impressive.
Yeah. The test is also how it was found. Given the explanation just now, it's not too surprising. It's like frame perfect thing.
And given that a lot of the stuff was ported straight from Crash Fusion to Spyro Fusion, it works similarly in Spyro Fusion. Oh, this is not the ending.
Time crate.
So the only difference between like this third visit to this level is there's now mines here, and the mines are the worst thing ever. They will just push you off a cliff. So I just need to be really careful with my placements here of my bullets, making sure that the arcs hit the mines.
So the shop I'm in right now is probably one of the worst pieces of RNG in this game. Mostly because there are 6 blue crash cards to get here. And there's no stack property, because there's no spinning wheel. So if you get a blue crash card, it's random which one you get. For 6 cards, that can mean that it's, you're spending some time in here.
2,
Possibly.
3,
And where's the 4?
4. Fantastic. Got all
Nice.
4 cards.
Yeah, so right there, as mentioned before, Mike also purchased the overworld gem from Arctic second half, from the second half of the Arctic world.
Yeah. So this level is a really cool level design, where if you're not already familiar of the level layout, the game will just kill you pretty much. There's a lot of blind corners and a few just genuine traps. How's the shop going?
Perfect. Actually, I only need one more. So there's another interesting thing, which is it's not unique to this shop, but it's the most useful here. There's an overlap between this shop and the mystery shop in the Arctic world. There are 3 blue crash cards you can get in either of them. Given this one is obviously more RNG heavy, we grinded for the blue crash cards in the mystery one, so we only need the missing 3 here. So far we have 2 out of 3.
So yeah, this is the kind of the bit where the game will just squish you if you're not aware. Also, this is lacking collision for some reason.
Yes. It's not just the corner, it's the whole thing, but only a few inches or so and then it has collision suddenly. So like the collision was misplaced by a bit, which apparently can happen. Proof by example. Iron Spring, that should be it. Yeah, that's it, okay. It was a pretty good shop. This one can go a lot longer and a lot worse. Okay, jump. Nope. Try it once more because it's cool. No, okay, didn't get it.
So that jump was one of our favorite things to discover, because we spent so long looking into a box clip between those 2 diagonal boxes.
Yeah.
And then Taco was like, wait, could we just jump up
Yes,
there?
yeah.
And turns out with a well-timed double jump you can.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it's not free. It's like pretty precise.
Yeah.
But it can be done.
Yeah. To be fair, it only quote-unquote saves, I think, 7 seconds? Something in that range. So if you don't get it first try, there's no point in grinding for it. Unless you're in a marathon and want to, you know, kind of flex, which I failed to do. Have I mentioned that the battle levels are the slowest in the whole game?
Yeah.
I think I have,
The
actually.
battle levels are actually kind of painful.
Yeah.
Especially the last one for getting all the boxes is really rough in your first visit
Yeah.
of it.
If you say it like that, it would imply that it's easy for me. Which, to be fair, it is easy, but now the pressure's on me. It's a problem. Can't handle that. Okay, time to flex. Take an extra loop right here, just because I can. Doesn't save any time, doesn't lose any time. There's just risk of you dying and losing 1 minute. But why would you? It's easy. That's good. The battle levels are the most painful auto-scrollers to die on, just because it's the slowest, so it is the most time loss you can get, and it also feels like the most time loss. So you lose twice. Okay. So there's... Gotta look this up. I always confuse what cards to get here. Clear gem checkpoint. Okay, there's another overlap here. You can get 4 blue crash cards, and well, you have to get 4 blue crash cards, 3 green ones. 2 of the blue ones you can just buy in World 1, which we did, of course. And 1 of the green ones you can get as an overworld card. Luckily that's a stack property. So whatever green card you're missing, you can collect in the overworld.
So this is one of the most annoying routes for collecting stuff. Probably. Nope, I died to the piranha. Back we go. That piranha is the worst. There is a somewhat safe strat, but it's really slow.
But it's also safe. Maybe you should have considered
It
doing
is safe. I'll go for it this time.
Doo-doo. Da, 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 da.
Cool, so now I go back. Oh, that was a menu warp, not a... Oops. Never mind, I lost all of the time saved from doing that. Oops. Oh well.
So to finish my train of thought, the fact that you only need 2 out of the green, 2 out of the 3 green crash cards, is worth more than you might think. You might think, well, it's only 1 card, but from my experience, on average, that like if you have to get all the cards, on average it's like 5 to 6 minutes, and without it's like 3 or so. Genuinely happening. Be a gem 1 per checkpoint crate. Should have pufferfish frog. Perfect. Okay, so I have to pick up the red on the backtrack, which is a hidden card in the Wampa jungle, but I have to backtrack there anyway, so it's fine. Backtrack is rather quick. Although you can't menu warp in this game, it's still pretty quick. Okay, that was a swag shot. That wasn't. Oh, come on.
So I need to pull down to the left here, down this pit. Surprise, there's a pathway down here. With more
Wait, really? I never
gems.
knew that.
And there's a really tiny optimization. Do that instead of jumping around.
By the way, yes, this is actual game lag.
Oh yeah, the tank levels lag like anything.
Mostly whenever you activate these overhead rockets, things, bombs, the game goes down to like 3 FPS essentially.
So I'm currently just adventuring around here, picking some extra gems, and just got a few more minigames to clear off before I'm done with the jungle.
Oh, beautiful.
Ooh, there's a green gem here which is really well camouflaged, and I missed my first run and spent like an hour looking for it. So that's that green gem.
It's maybe worth mentioning that without Mike, this run would never have happened, mainly because nobody ever did the Spyro Fusion part, like fully completing Spyro Fusion.
Yeah,
As a
Spyro Fusion
speedrun.
was really just undocumented until I was like, hey, I should give this a go, I think I own these games. And that was about where the thought started and ended. But no, we've actually spent a lot of time learning about these games. We definitely know a lot more than when I started off trying to write out these games.
For sure, for sure.
And they've evolved into what is almost a competent speedrun, which I'm rather proud of. These games are now a lot more better documented, and we have strategies.
We even have a strategy guide for 200 cards.
Yeah, there's an actual route on speedrun.com now for 200 card co-op. If you're interested in subjecting any of your friends to this as well.
Question is whether you should or not. But so for this boss fight, it's not really obvious how this boss fight works if you don't know how it works. Essentially, you have to shoot the non-transparent pet, and then Ripto will get rid of his shield, and you can shoot him. For some reason, that makes sense. Here's the gate for 20 gems, but we have 20 gems, and we can just continue. On to World 5. You're actually not too far away from me. It's might prove
I mean,
wrong.
I've still got all of my post-game to go, so...
That's true.
One of the final real level, Dragon Assault, for our World 4. After that, just got World 5 to go. And a few more gems on the overworld. I think this minigame lasts like at 4 minutes total, so... How's the shop going, Taka?
That minigame that lasts 6.5 minutes.
Wait, is this with the 6-minute one?
Yeah.
Aww.
But you are in Dragon, right? Yeah, this is Dragon. This is 6.5 minutes. It's like 210 for every pass, roughly. Have fun. Well, I have fun gambling. This one is also the most excessive spinning wheel shop. There are 11 blue cards to get, subdivided into 2 stacks of 6 and 5. 4 green ones, 4 yellow ones. To be fair, 3 of those 4 stacks you can complete with an overworld card if you're missing one. So you don't have to get all of them. It suffices to get all but one. Given I have to backtrack anyways to World 1, I can just pick the missing ones up on the way. I'm getting unlucky spins. Not much you can do here. Well, I got a big jackpot. Yeah, you see the jackpots, because we're in World 5 now, the jackpots are getting extraordinary.
Yeah, it's only costing him 25 Wumpa for a spin.
Yeah, but I
So
just won
even if he
280.
gets, even if he gets the lower jackpot, he's still getting 4 times what he spent.
Potentially, yeah.
But yeah, potentially, yeah. Just 2 more visits to Dragon Assault.
Hoverbike, copter. Okay, 2 more. I would like to get a lot more of the blue cards, because I have to get 11 of those. The green and the yellow ones will come along other way, but really want the blue one. What also can happen, although the 11 blue cards are subdivided into a 6 and a 5 stack, which sounds pretty even, but it might happen that I fill up the 5 stack, but I'm 2 cards into the 6 card stack, which has happened numerous times before. Like, this should be a card, but the game says I won the Wumpas. It's just objectively and factually incorrect, but okay. The part is actually on the purple one. Like, here it is, and here I agree. I gained 49 Wumpas. Blue card? Yes, that's a blue card. Gem-red. I'd add one of the blue cards from the start, if I remember correctly. Maybe even 2. So this might shorten things a bit, although not too much. You're still in the tank level. Almost like it takes 6.5 minutes. You getting there?
1 more visit of Dragon Assault.
Scorpion. Zero, Scorpion. It's 4K. I don't need any more green ones. I can take the overworld one. I think same for yellow. Well, no, I don't have to take the green one from the world. But that's not the one I want. Whenever I stream runs of this, or just of 104%, at some point I start, as you're hearing, I start talking to the spinning wheel. I'm like, I want to get a better deal. It's like, come on, this should have worked. Well, this did work, at least. Gem purple. Getting there slowly but steadily. Gem purple. That's the second one out of 5. Although I only need 4. It's complicated. I'm really glad hundreds of people are watching this right now. Your life isn't complete until you've watched a 200 co-op run of Fusion.
Okay, we're out of
IMO.
Dragon Assault. I can continue
let's
with
go.
the run. We're coming up to Cortex here. Cortex, we have a somewhat optimal... Well, it is an optimal strat for Cortex.
Yeah.
We just hit him as soon as we can with every single missile. It's structured like the Magnet minigame. Should get the final trading card there. Awesome. On to Cortex. And now I just need to get the... Should be a missile up here.
It's a blue card.
So I just need to get rid
Oh
of
my
Cortex
God.
Shield and shoot him with missiles whenever I can, fighting enemies, all that fun stuff.
Second one.
So wait for me to drop.
I think two. Exclamation mark. Slot outline.
So final hit coming up here on Cortex. There we go. So that's about as fast as you can ever get Cortex.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty
because
good.
we did every minigame 3 times, this is now open and we can go to Tech Park. So there's a gem. We still need to finish all these minigames three times because those reward us with cards.
Outline box. Gem yellow. It's fine, I only need 2 more blue crash cards. 3 would be optimal, but 2 are fine as well. That's not a card game. Slightly too far. No.
Okay, this Tech Tug done. Now I need to jump up here.
Yes.
There we go. Remembering the route.
I would help you out, but I'm kind of busy, so
It's fine. I've
I
got.
hope you remember in space.
A lot of this route isn't actually stuff I've played around with like an actual run before, because playing this on like an EMU or something is traditionally slow because link cable emulation is terrible. So the only time we ever really get to run this is when we meet up, which is rare. And we've theory crafted this game a lot over the last year and a half. Awesome, and now I need to go up here, and then up here.
Gem blue.
This auto-scroller is actually pretty fun, because you can actually tell how far you are along because the background changes. What a luxury, background changing. How's it going, Toga? You having fun there?
Terrible. I just need 1 more card. I need the outline box and I should be good. And then that would be all the gambling for me.
We only had 1 because it never showed up.
We must believe in the heart of the cards. Pardon me, Gris. Really?
So
I
this is
think
another one of
we
these
might have
sections
the wrong
which
game, but
just kills you if you don't know where you're going. You need to follow this track very perfectly. It's approaching the end of the first pass of this level.
between. Slot box, no. Just 1 more. Just 1. Also, by now you might have seen I have like 3,000 Wampas. It's more than sufficient, more than I'll ever need in this game, ever. Things I'm not stacking up on purpose, it just happens. Okay, come on. Slot box, come on, come on. Yes, let's go.
Oh,
Gambling done. Time to play the game. So this minigame I'm actually seeing my setup because the background is lighter. So I have to shoot on a very specific line. Well, and then that happens. But the first 18, flawless. Helps me a lot. Should be good. After the 18th enemy, the strat literally is to wing it, because there's no consistent or easy or whatever setup anymore.
Okay, final entrance to Space Shoot. This one's a little rough just because, due to the enemy's iframes, getting past things can be difficult like
Right.
that. Yep. And whenever you hit an enemy, you kind of get stunned into place, and then the screen catches up to you, and you just kind of have a bad time. Anyway, we can just sneak past those.
So if I would have missed a yellow card in the last shop, I could have picked it up there. It's more of a stack cards. But I can skip it and I save like 2 seconds by not picking that one up.
Oh yeah, that's the thing I don't think we explained earlier, was the overworld cards are also affected by the stack property.
Yeah.
In the event which that card also appears in a spinning wheel shop.
I mean, I did explain that, but
Oh.
it's always good to explain twice. To be fair, the stack property like is a rather complicated thing, I feel like, if you're confronted with it the first time.
It's complicated compared to everything else in this game.
Well, it's true.
I think there was another platform where I got jammed, right? Oh, no, that was good. Yeah, that was good.
Ah, damn.
On to Skywalker, I would argue this is the hardest level in the game. The first entrance is pretty easy. Second entrance is surprisingly hard. Third one I would say is easier than the second one. However, it becomes difficult because you've got the same level layout but different enemy layouts. So your muscle memory just gets all just thrown out of shape.
That bear level was first try, and that should be the case every time, but
oh,
it's not.
yeah, the bear level is surprisingly difficult. One of the jumps, if you don't have a mask to do the damage abuse, is a 2-frame jump. And like that's not just like, oh, a 2-frame jump for a speedrunning trick. No, that is a 2-frame jump to just not lose a mask.
Yeah, casually. There's no trick involved. It's literally the track you go down. Small optimization here. I've done that before in other worlds. Never really explained it. Between unlocking a level and being able to enter, there's a 2-second delay, where for some reason the game just doesn't allow you to enter. You can circumvent that in this case, because you have to go by the level twice. So the first time you pass it, you just open it. The second time you can enter it immediately and save those sweet 2 seconds. Insane optimization in the game where you lose 10 minutes by gambling. Also, this is the infamous bed level, where if you play this for the first time, you'll have a bad time. Probably, at least. From experience.
Okay, second entrance to Skywalker. This is just basically a bullet hell version of
Focus
this game.
time. Serious time.
If there ever was a serious time in this game, it would be now.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It might sound like I said that ironically, but I didn't. It was genuinely serious.
Wait, fine, I'm just going to restart that level there. I hit it early. I was getting mixed up with the third visit. So I forgot to contain the missile there. hopefully this will be okay. I'll just roll with green and see where we get
Green
to.
should be fine if you're
Yeah, green should be
careful
fine.
at the end. Yeah.
As long as we get good spawns. Oh, that's down to... We'll keep going with this, but I'm not optimistic.
Good despawns.
So if I get a bad spawn here, I'm just going to die. There is like pretty much nothing I can do to prevent that.
Well, you can try to despawn them,
I can, yeah, I'll
which
just
is totally
do my
not
best to-
random.
Nope, yeah, that was just bad spawn.
Ah,
I need to remember to wait for that one. And I'm accept third.
I'd like to take a moment to remind everyone watching that we are raising money to support Young Minds, a brilliant charity leading the fight for a future where all young minds are supported and empowered, whatever the challenges. Your donations help them to make sure young people get the best possible mental health support and have the resilience to overcome life's difficulties. 90% of all your donations will be going to them, and the remaining 10% will be used to support UKSG at further marathons. But we couldn't do it without ESA supporting this marathon. They're providing us with their channel for streaming, their sharing gear, technical assistance, and sponsors. Be sure to check out ESA Winter from the 15th to the 22nd of February.
Wait, this is charity? I thought this is just a fusion stream now. It's all it is. I mean, that's cool though. Rather common opinion on the because I'm playing on GameBoy Player right now, like GameCube and GameBoy Player, so I'm controlling the game with the GameCube controller, and the D-pad of the GameCube controller, trash. Not because it doesn't control well, it just literally destroys your finger, destroys your thumb, because you have to press with like 5,000 Newton of force for things to get recognized. So sometimes I'm playing with a glove, not dedicated gaming glove, but actually just winter glove, thin one. It does work.
Right, second pass of Skywalker done. That's, well, I would say the hardest level in the game out of the way.
Yeah, sounds about right.
We've got one post-game level which is particularly hard, as well as the third pass of Skywalker. I'm just trying to readjust to the positioning of the enemies this time.
Well, final boss time for me. Ah, 48:19. This is so sad.
Ooh.
Missed World Record by 2 frames. That's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but I have to say it's fine.
We'll tolerate it. I'll have a chance at it, so...
And yes, that boss literally took 15 seconds.
So even though he's beaten the boss, he's not done with the game. There's post-game stuff he needs to clean up. So I'm getting like really bad spawns here. There's nothing I can do to dodge those guys. They're behind me, and I couldn't. You can't attack behind yourself in this.
Yeah, the only thing you can do or attempt to do, as we said before, is to despawn enemies by kind of like falling off the platform a bit and then turning. So stuff is not on camera, like not in the field of view, and that sometimes makes enemies despawn. For some reason.
to wait for the
It's a
end
good video game.
there. Oh, he spawned really late for some reason. I should be fine.
Don't botch it. Wait.
Yes.
Goal should be up, question mark?
Yep. Awesome, out of Skywalker.
Let's go.
Hardest level out the way.
I would clap, but I can't.
That's fair.
No, I can't.
On to Tech Deflect, final level for me until the post game. So a few more minigame stuffs to pick up and some shopping for the first time in forever. What it feels like. I haven't done any shopping since like the first half of the One Punch Out. I'm gonna do my only vase shop where I need to pick up 3 cards. Things like Lava Fountain, Grendor, and Nasty Nork.
What is it? Lava Fountain, Grendor, Nasty Nork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always swear it was Lava Fountain or Lava Pool.
Yeah,
You
it's
get
a
both
Lava
at the same
Fountain.
place.
Yeah.
Lava Fountain sounds more right.
Okay, you already saw me collecting some overworld cards, which I mean, you can get them on first pass, they're just somewhat out of the way. But an optimal run like the test would not get them on backtrack. If there was a test for 1 of 5, which there's not. 1 of 4, 1 of 5, very different things, as we explained before. One of them is co-op, whereas the other one is not. Okay. Check on the shop, get the card. Skip that card. Okay, so I should have all of these, miss 1 here, have these, and maybe... Okay, so I have to get the Firefly card here. That's fine, I have some time to spare. Not too much, but I have some time to spare. But not too much.
Oh heck.
Come on, give me a Spyro card. Not even sure why I'm going for the Wampas. I don't need money anymore. I have a sufficient amount.
It just feels wasteful.
Firefly, no. Okay.
Oh. I did not expect it to bounce off that.
Is it 3? Fairy, no. There are 4 Spyro cards. I don't need the Wampas. I'm wasting time at this point. So yeah, there are 4 Spyro cards to get here.
That was too many balls.
We only... So, strictly speaking, I don't need this card. But it makes Mike's run easier a bit.
You got Firefly?
No.
Oh. I have literally no idea what you're talking about.
I'm trying to get it. I haven't got it, but I'm trying to get it now.
Okay.
That's my point.
Oh, you're trying to get Firefly, gotcha.
Yeah. I didn't get it on first pass. I thought I got it by chance, but I didn't. I don't need the Wampas,
No,
just mentioning.
I'm getting stupid directions on the bounces. I'm almost done this minigame. Okay.
The problem with these shops is that you can't cancel this. Like, you can't say, oh, I don't want this card, I'll cancel out. Like, it's fine, keep my money, whatever. Just give me the time back. Doesn't work.
Okay, finally out of there. Gotta collect those last few cards. Final gem, amazing. Now I need to go to the shop and do some vase shuffling. So I'm looking for 2 greens and a blue.
Are we doing the same thing now? Cool.
So me getting money here is actually important.
Yeah.
Spyro. Lava pool, I'm looking for fountain.
No, there was one.
Here's Nasty Nork.
2 more?
Lava pool again. Lava pool again. Lava fountain finally.
Okay. So now it's just Grandor, right?
Yeah, I'm just looking for Grandor now.
Firefly. Come on. Come on. Come on. Be a fly. Firefly. Yes! Frick! Thanks, Chris. Thanks.
Grandor, okay, I've got all my cards.
Okay, so now you can do the final boss.
Yep. So my final boss is coming up here now. Fun fact, it is the same final boss,
But more difficult.
but more difficult.
Like, not by a
somehow.
lot, but like slightly more difficult.
So I'm gonna soft reset here, because the game saves as soon as we finish.
Yeah, you can skip the credits here.
So now, because I've got all the gems from World 5, I've unlocked the post-game minigame Gem Hop, which is arguably the hardest part about this game. After, whatchamacallit, Skywalker. So Gem Hop doesn't tell you how to play Gem Hop, it just expects you to figure it out on your own.
That was the best
It
explanation.
looks like just a random collect the gem minigame, but you actually get a trading card for getting 100 gems, and it's also how you unlock the rest of the post-game minigames, which also give you cards. So if you didn't just sit and get 100 gems by doing this, then you will never like fully complete this game. On top of that, not only are we collecting 100 gems, it has to be 100 gems in one life, and at 50, the platforms are going to half in size. They randomly spawn, so there's a chance it might just not work. Having fun there, Taka?
Yes. No, but yes.
So, as we mentioned before, we need a variety of game cards to do this run. We need 2 copies of every single cartridge. Taka, I've got some spares at the side if you need them. So we
All
have
good.
2 copies of Crash Fusion, 2 copies of Spyro Fusion, and 2 additional backups of double packs of both of the games. So we should be fine. We have a couple of Game Boy Advance SPs as well, because I'm playing on a DS which cannot use the GBA link cable. So I'm just going to do some setting up various stuffs at the moment. Of course, all these were wiped before the run. Unfortunately, got a little unlucky with my response there. So there's a consistent strat for Gem Hop, however I only start implementing about 50 gems in, just so I can be quick with collecting the first 50 gems, as it's a little easier. Like I said, unfortunately got a little unlucky with spawns at the first.
So what I'm doing right now is I'm linking the empty Crash cartridge to my filled one, which will give both of them the unique red Crash card you get from linking. Just linking, don't have to trade, just link them. So it's trading, trade, trading, trade, waiting, waiting. One? Oh, this is one. Oops. Shoutouts to Eraser, by the way. This is his link cable, which he gifted to me.
So because I've
there
collected
we go.
50 of the gems, the platforms have now halved in size to make this more difficult, because it needed to be more difficult apparently. I need to get to like 685, if I remember correctly. It should be 100.
Okay, so what I'm doing now, as explained before, I will do some part of the Spyro run. Hopefully it will be worth it. It should still be.
It'll be worth it. Absolutely, some run to catch up on.
Yeah. So it should take like, I think, 9 minutes for me to do all of this. We'll see.
It'll at least be faster. You forget the World 1 stuff, I believe.
Right.
Oh, oh no, oh no. Oh, heck.
At least now you can hear the Spyro Fusion music, which you couldn't before.
Oh yeah, because you were totally missing out on the Spyro Fusion.
Please
music.
appreciate it.
All 6 seconds of it on loop. Oh, that was just some bad spawns. Come on, good gem hops.
The good thing is I only have to advance to World 2 to get the double jump power-up. Which means I only have to do every minigame once. And only the first 5 minigames. Don't have to do anything in World 2 other than collect some gems.
And it's only in the first half of the world.
Also that, yeah.
There's a little bit of glitched movement he needs to use because he won't have access to the flutter ability, which is how you're supposed to come back and get some of those gems. Which was a fairly recent discovery. It was only in the last, 2 months, I think.
Well, a bit before that, but within this year. It was a 2019 thing, for sure.
$30 gems in now.
Go. Another small difference between the games we didn't really talk about, or at least maybe you talked about it and I just didn't listen. If you die in Crash Fusion, you don't lose any Wumpas. If you die in Spyro Fusion, you lose 10 Wumpas every time you do.
One more gem and these are going to half the size again.
Which is even funnier because, Spyro has the gem cap anyways at 999, which is way too low. And then every time you die, you lose 10 gems. Crash, where you end on 4,000 Wumpas, you don't get punished for dying, essentially. Balanced.
Spawns, thank you. Spawns.
Squeezing through here. A lot of these hitboxes for the traps are rather questionable, as you have seen on the Mike's side before. Take it easy, Mike. All good.
Okay,
Oh,
there's
let's go.
100.
Even watching you with one eye filled me with anxiety. It's like
Look at that first try
Such
in
a-
practice.
it's a
That was
really- it's a
little
really clutch
underwhelming,
level,
but oh well. On to the easiest level in the game, and the shortest level in the game, where we just get chased by these sheep. And that's the whole reason we did Gem Hop, was to unlock this minigame, because this will give us another card. Okay, cool. So since we've got everything here, we can now menu warp back to this half. Got everything here, so we can menu warp back to Fire Mountains. Fire Mountains 2, we still have some gems to collect over on the right-hand side. There's Sheep Shakedown, we still need to do that. I'm going to come down here and collect these gems. There's our trading card. So there's a new tech found for this, which is basically we just go to another tree. Spoilers, if you body slam these trees, sheep come out of them. Many a casual playthrough have kind of got stumped here and not realized that you could get sheep like that. And thus have, I think, like I saw one person streaming this game who did manage to beat this without headbutting any of the trees. However, they finished it just in time.
this might actually be close time-wise.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's actually going to save any time.
I mean, we can just
RNG.
try it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if you're at least able to get them in like the first half, then I guess that saves time. Okay, cool. So there's that card. Back here. Got everything here already. Back to the Arctic Cliffs. Arctic Cliffs, we need to go down and do the minigame here. We don't need the gem because we actually just bought that from a shop later in the game. The reward for this thing is not unique, surprisingly. So it's just up here, sheep shearing. We used to consider this stat spread if you didn't jump, however we found an optimization, which is you breathe fire and it gives you a short hop. Okay, that's really risky and I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to keep bouncing it in, just get jumpless, hopefully. The sheep increases in speed, I'm just doing my best to keep up. Nice. Yeah, Tok, I don't think it's going to be... Do you want to just start saying what crash stuff? Because I'm just in thingy now.
But you still have to collect the gems, right?
Oh yeah, I've still got to collect the gems here. In fact, that reminds me, yeah, gems here are in weird places. So
It's
I'll
one
get
down,
these now.
yeah, it's one
yeah,
down
yeah,
there.
Yeah, I get where they are, yeah. Do you need to set
Two
up
greens in the middle.
various like trade, same trade stuffs?
Yeah, yeah. I can link Spyro to Spyro, get that card.
I was going to say, do you want to set Spyro on something that I can trade with? Oh no, wait, because
It doesn't matter, I have
cartridge is not-
Firefly,
yeah,
it doesn't matter.
It's fine. What's your time looking like?
Should be sub 2.
That's all of them? No, I've got the ones on the far left, yeah.
Could have menu warped back. Yeah, it's too late now.
We're 155. This is going to be close. I don't think we've quite got this because trading takes
Should be
like 10
fine.
minutes.
No, it takes 3.
3 minutes? Oh yeah, because co-op is fast. I forget.
Yeah.
It's a luxury I'm not familiar with. Okay, cool. Dragon Castle. Oh, I've still got all the running around Dragon Castles to get all the gems. behind. Final minigame.
Trade. Trade. Come on.
Okay, there's the final minigame. Now just finish collecting the gems. There's some over here, final on the right. Yep, there's one. Is that the last one over here? Yep. That's the end of them there.
Okay, so I should have 102, yeah. So it's Firefly and exclamation mark. Exclamation shape. Okay. Change. Back.
Oh heck. Didn't realize there was 1 health left. Do you have the Spyro card already?
Yeah.
Awesome. Should be almost done. I just need to finish collecting them in both halves.
Yeah. So you can see you have all the 100 crash cards here, here, here. I have the Firefly card and I have the Spyro to Spyro link, which is the exclamation mark sheep.
This will be the last one on this. Oh no, wait, I still need to get them. The rest are on the left hand side, so it's fine. I'm just up there. Oh, where's the one? I'm missing one. Do you have any idea, John?
Below the flight level, the purple one.
The purple one. Make sure I got all the ones up here.
Pretty sure you do. Yeah, go to the second up down, right. So there are 3 green ones. to
Oh
right
yeah, the
there.
purple one. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
would have bypassed it. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, this one.
Okay. Warp back and then 1. Warp.
Oh, yeah.
No, wait, did you get the ones at the shop?
No, I've got the one at the shop. Yeah, yeah. Now warp.
No, 2. 2, 2, 2.
Oh.
Yeah, there are 2 golden ones.
There's 2 golden ones at the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Normally I don't get these ones, so that's why I'm a bit lost. There we go.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna collect a few at the start here,
Top left, yeah.
and then a few over to the right.
So this jump right here, this is the jump you can make without the flutter. It's a pretty precise double jump with flame extension. So if you flame right after jumping, you will hover in the air for just a bit, and it's just enough to make that jump. Which essentially, if my RNG would have been better, and to be fair, I also did some gameplay mistakes. It would have been faster for me to do the Spyro part to get like the first 3 world cards, which now Mike has to do.
Awesome. So that should be everything. Let's move this over to the GameBoy Advance. So unfortunately, you're going to be losing my video from this because we can't capture. I can't do the trading on the DS.
Yeah.
Due to the limitations in the hardware. But yeah, I just moved that 1 cartridge back to that. rest on the camera, trust me. So now we're just going to be trading 5 cards at a time until we've gotten all the cards moved over from each one. And if we're missing anything, then we'll just panic. Trade cards.
Should be good. Okay, go out and go back and trade.
Yeah. And use this menu again.
Okay, I'll give you the Firefly now and the Link card. Oh, that's not sub 2, it should still a world record.
I think I'm going to treat the Firefly back.
That's fine, doesn't matter. As long as you had it at some point, that's all. More beeping noises. This D-pad, honestly, the worst. So the only optimization here, aside from trading 5 for 5, obviously, is to hold start. You don't have to press start at the same time precisely, you can just hold and buffer it. Which is, believe it or not, really useful. Riz, could you, or could...
Yeah, get ready on time. We're
Yeah, it's not about time, it's more about the phone thing, recording.
Oh, we don't need phone recording.
No, we do, because we don't finish at the same time.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a good idea.
I already instructed Grizz to do things, so it's fine. Just film his thing, yeah. So it should sync up with his stream audio, and then we can tell when time was. Because all the yellow ones, then orange, then red, and we're done.
Back out. Back out.
Come on, cable. Be
There we
nice.
go. Oh, link failed. Ooh, glad we were into the middle of a trade. There we go. I love the link cable. It is my favorite bit of technology. Should be my final trade, I think.
Yeah, I've one more.
Okay.
So time for the crash side would end now.
Okay, and I just trade back anything?
Yeah.
Cool.
And time.
Time.
Well, that's world record by 50 seconds.
Let's just put that back on the stream. Show you guys what that looks like. So on Crash, once you get all 200 cards, you get a little sticker book.
Yeah.
And on Spyro, we get a nice little background for the menu.
Also 25 crystals, 25 gems. We have it all. So I mean, it's cool that we got world record, but it shouldn't have been 15 seconds, but 10 minutes.
Wait, was it only 15 seconds? No, last
50
time was
seconds.
like 2:14, not 2:04, wasn't it?
No, world record was a 2.5.
Was it 2:05?
I got a 2.5 at ESA 18. Yeah.
I thought it was a 2:14. Oh. Anyway, this is what the background which that looks like.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The proof that we got all cards. Woohoo.
That that is all we have to show. Let's play a different. Let's show a different game.
Yes,
on the stream.
please.
I think everyone wants to see different. Right. Thanks for watching, guys. It's been
Yeah.
fun. Catch you guys later.